Right, what are we actually going to do with this today, bro?
So
How are you feeling?
like quite a bit shorter to be fair.
Yeah.
Not too short still, but like a decent bit of length on the top.
Do you still want to have it like natural and scissor cut at the back?
Maybe a wee bit shorter to be fair.
Yeah, maybe even take it in, but like you don't want to go down to the taper, the full taper.
No full taper, no.
No, we'll just do the taper here.
Aye.
Do you want me to blend it, fade all into your beard and that as well? Are you keeping that?
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, it'll work like definitely if we fade in the side bits down into like where it gets like thicker and more dense at the bottom, it'll look stronger.
Perfect.
And are you wanting to do the curtains on top?
Aye, please.
Yeah, sweet. Do you want me to shape up all in here as well?
Aye, that'd be awesome.
Cool. Right, easy. Nothing too crazy to worry about here. We're going to wet all this down and we're going to do graduation on the back and sides. We're probably going to keep the graduation more horizontal and flow it all the way around. And I'm going to show you how to do a little trick at the bottom here where we're going to choose the length of the neckline and cut it in with a feather razor. And then we're going to lift it up to meet our graduation as it comes around here so that we have a nice even round graduation flowing around there. But from like here to here, it should get like a little bit, tiny little bit longer. But obviously we don't want to keep it too long because Dale wants it shorter, but we'll be able to get a nice blend of like in nice and tight to the head, but still kind of like long and soft instead of tapering it. I'm going to use this crown here to find where we're going to section it out, and then we actually have a parting. If I tilt your head right at the back here, the parting that we're going to use for the curtains actually comes from the crown as well, around there. So nice and easy to find. Connect this side to this side and this side to this side so they're asymmetrical but balanced to the side of the head. And then just a little taper on the sideburns, a little beard fade and shape up. Should be easy. First we're going to soak all the hair down fully though. Yeah, when we got looking, we're like, it's easy, you just have to like edit the haircut shorter and then never consider all the nonsense as well. One day we'll have a chance to share all that, hopefully. So I'm just grooming all the hair back and looking for any areas where it's flopping down and it's extra heavy. Just seeing the overall shape of it just now and how much we're going to need to adjust. So I'm going to do these sections more horizontal or more towards the horizontal. That's going to make it easier to control the shape round and then use this bit when I bring it up, which you'll see, but that just means that to control the amount of weight we're going to build, I'm going to have to control it using over direction. We're going to be directing down, so we still get that triangular shape for the graduation. So I'm going to section it off here, find the crown. This in here. I'm just going to use this to start off with to separate the back and the front. And then we're going to come, the head's all round and around here as well. So I'm going to start here and go straight through to the recession area. There we go. And then we'll have it just where we're going to shape up all these little baby hairs here as well. going to groom all the hair to the front, stand in front of him, and bring it all down into my hands here. Now we have this shape. So it's just like a horseshoe, but like I've probably shown a few times, it's just tailored to how the actual crown is instead of it coming round here. Because if we'd done it just evenly, all these ones that are growing down would get cut up here with the top, and it's actually harder to decide what length they need to be cut to in, I don't know what the word is. It's not comparison. Oh well. Gonna have to think of it. When is it when something goes with something else?
Compatible?
Kinda, yeah. But like, we'd need it to be compatible, but we need to cut it in something for where it is.
Contrast?
Kinda. I was gonna say in comparison to where it is, but in relation to where it is. There we go. Yeah, so we need to cut these hairs because they're going to be growing down this way, and if we cut it up here, we want it to be cut in relation to where they're going to lie. That's how you'd say that, eh? Okay. Yeah. So we're going to start on the sideburn here, or the temple. And we're pretty much going to be horizontal, or close to horizontal, maybe not exactly horizontal. And this first section is going to be short enough for the taper to go into. And then we're just going to build the weight by bringing them all down. Just get your fingers right in there against the head. Number 2, just to the top of the ear, bring it down. Push the first one up into the second one. So we're not building any weight or anything yet, it's just flat. Try and get these ones right next to the ear as well. And then section 3, this is going to kind of come to the top of the hairline there. I'm going to start bringing this down just slightly because we don't want to take it too short. There we go. We're just going to follow the head shape round. So bringing these up to meet this one. And then here, to keep this length here instead of following it in and going tight there, we're going to bring it up to be part of the next section. So we're going to come all the way round. And we want to keep a good bit of this at the bottom there so that we can feather razor it. So we're going to find our guide from underneath, bring the new section down onto it. Make sure, if I bring your head like this, just so that I'm coming straight out from the head. You can see just where I've had his head tilted forward before, it's getting a little bit longer, so just need to take off those ends. And follow it round. Get it under there. And then when we get to here, we're going to lift this all the way up to here. So anything that doesn't reach isn't going to get cut. We can take off this. We're going to bring all this up to here again. See all this underneath? It's all like pinging down. So we're only going to be cutting what reaches this guide here. And we're still following it round as well. And then we've still got all this. We might not even need to feather it, it kind of breaks itself up a little bit. Then the next section, we're right on the round here, so this is really when we're going to have to start over directing down. I'm going to come all the way around. If you need to use a clip here, you can put one in under here. Let's see. These little mini ones. And that should hold it all from falling down. So we're going to go to here again, pull this right down to here. Get the guide from underneath. Little guide there. Shuffling it round. Lifting it all up. This is going to start crossing over onto the other side. Bringing it down. See, I'm moving the head as well, just so that we're always at the right angle. You've got the angle this way, the direction this way, but then you've also got where the head is as well. If the head's here and you pull down this way, and then you lift his head back up, that's going to be almost like you've directed it that way, instead of his head being upright at this point and me pulling it straight down. And that changes, the head's a round surface, so, or a round shape I should say. So you need to move it around to match what you're doing. Again here. I'm going to stop about there because that'll be the other side. Maybe a tiny wee bit more. So now we're right up at the top, so this is the most you're going to direct a section down to this point. Remember as well, once we're off this bit, where it's such a drastic jump down, you don't need to be pulling it down as much here. When the surface gets more flat again, we can just start lifting the section slightly. Doesn't need as much of an exaggerated direction down. Oh. Always got to do it once, eh? Send you back to the baby steaming.
Sleep through it.
Yeah, 7 hours later.
Mrs. just fucking confused.
So here, this is the part I was trying to explain earlier. These hairs that would have been part of the top if we'd done the horseshoe section in an actual horseshoe instead of going with the crown, these bits would be getting cut up here instead of down here. And because they're growing down this way, when the hair's getting styled, they're going to lie down this way. It's not much of a difference, but the length can change a little bit around here. So you always want to cut the crown as much as you can to where it's going to lie, unless it's that long that the length of it's just going to outweigh it anyway and it won't matter. But because we're taking this graduation a little bit shorter, you just want to make sure you're cutting all this accurately because you don't want it just ping up everywhere. So we'll take a section from about here, and this will be the last one on this side. We'll get the rest of that. So now you can see here, you can see the weight we've just created. You can see the band of weight. And even though we've cut all our sections this way, the shape of it is triangular, or it should be. Yeah. So if you can see that, the vertical shape is triangular. Look how accurate we can get it without even having to pull it out and cut it like this. We cut it completely this way. And you can see the shape. There's no corner building up here. Just follows the head shape round. And then you can style it. You can draw it all back. And we'll be able to put in a nice neckline there. Right. This side is the same, but you're angling your fingers the other way around. So this is usually people who are right-handed's harder side to do. So we're going to start at the same point though, just where we're going to put our 2 in for the taper. Right there, above the ear. We're going to go right into the head again. We're going to go to the top of the ear. Oops. We're going to scoop that up into that one. And just remember to be aware that we're not angling like this anymore on the other side. We have to use our fingertips instead of our knuckles, so just make sure you're keeping that angle consistent. I'm going to go to the top of the hairline. And now we're going to start directing it down slightly. Make sure this angle is the correct one. And before we move on and we start getting down here, we're going to just check both sides. Because this is the bit that if you don't check it here and you go all the way around the head, you got to do one side again if it's not the same. So it's looking about the same length there first try, to be fair. We can lift it up. Yeah. And you can check it a couple more times as well, here and here, just to make sure you're not drifting off in length. So we're going to be back to more horizontal again. Round to the back of the head. And you can literally end up longer than the other side on this side just by not getting your direction the same. So if you start directing too far down too early, by the time you get to here, this could be longer than that side as well. So just always be mindful of how much direction you used on each side. A good way to do it is you can count your sections and you can go back either one or two sections, or when you get a bit more used to it, you can kind of eyeball it. But the numbers are a good way of tracking, like I'm going to direct one section back, 2 sections back, 3 sections back, depending on what you're trying to do. And then we're going to bring all this up again. So we're going to start directing a little bit more now that we're getting up onto the round of the head up here. I'm just going to turn the chair instead of shuffling as well, just for the camera here. But I would usually just be shuffling around in little steps. If we turn there. And we should start meeting up with the other side as well now. We're getting close to it. Yeah, there we go. And bringing all this up as well. All this under there, it's not getting cut.
Always got to do it once.
Yeah. 3 more to go. And then the last couple sections here. Sweet. And you can see the weight come all the way around the head. So we got stuff to style back on both sides. Now what we can do here as well is we can just neaten up this neckline a little bit. You can use a little safety razor and we can just even it out. So if I keep your head there, we've got like our highest point in here really, so we'll just try and get that round. A lot of this is just neck hairs as well that are growing up the way, so we can razor them in and then clean it back up with the trimmers again. And then come above the line a little bit, just so that we can get a bit of texture through it. Just want to be careful, you don't want to go too much because you can start creating gaps quite easily. And the same here. Let's just make sure it's the same. Tiny little bit more. So we'll do a layer on the top and then we'll connect it through its natural pattern. So you can even see the natural pattern just already actually wants to come out straight away. But we're going to do a quick layer first, just to make sure we're cutting it all evenly. So just do a profile through the top. And then we'll take some length from around the crown as the guide. We'll bring it up. You can see where the head starts to dip here. So we'll do it around here. We're just going to go square, straight to the front. We don't want the curtains to be getting too much longer at the front because they'll just flop down. We still want to be short enough where the weight of it doesn't constantly pull them down in his eyes. So we'll do square first and then we'll connect it, and if we need to do it a little bit round to the front to take a bit more away, then we can at the end. Take a bit of the first side, our guide. I'm just cutting this square vertically and horizontally. And I'm getting all these old sections pushed back and out of the way as well. We're only working on one little rectangle at a time, and the guide's always coming from the centre, not from behind. Perfect. Now we can find the natural pattern. So, good tip, just groom it all back, push it up, starts showing itself. And you can see it's the same one that came from the crown before. It's slightly, just slightly off centre. And then yeah, we'll just connect it in a couple sections. So we'll do one. We're going to join this to the graduation. So you're kind of graduating the top a little bit as well. We're going to pull it down. Following the same shape. Except when we get to the front and we start working on the hair that's in the hairline, we're going to start angling out a little bit. And that's going to keep some extra length for the front and the curtains that dangle down. That's going to be the same here. Follow that round shape. We're connecting it to the graduation. And then I'm going to step round. All the way to the side. And then we're going from round into almost triangular a little bit. And the thing is as well, if you do this and it's too long, you just go back to this point at the end and change your angle from here to here, and you take all that extra length that you built up off. Or you can do it bit by bit until it suits what you're trying to do. See, these are sitting in a good area. Maybe just a little bit more off the front, just to keep it away from his eyes. And then same on the other side. I'll tell you right there. Okay, well, a bit of product, bro?
Yeah, man.
I feel like I've had like cold symptoms for like 2 weeks, but I've not felt ill once, you know what I mean? It's just been annoying.
Nah, it's just the cold, innit?
So I'm going to put a bit of cream in, and this is going to be like a light product. It's not going to be having any shine or any sort of like change to the kind of look of the hair. It's not going to make it look wet or anything like that, or shiny. It's just natural. It's not got as much hold, but it's good when you combine it with like a blow dry. Maybe a little bit more. Do you usually use the cream or the paste?
I think it's the paste I usually
So
use.
yeah, should use the paste. Should have done what you usually use. So I'm going to get mostly dry as always first. It's kind of already gotten pretty dry. But just get most of the moisture out of it. And then we're going to dry these curtains down. Kind of leave the ones through the front because they got a nice wave. And then I'm going to start drying it all back the way. We'll do the other side. Same process. It's quite a fast one, this one. It's already kind of dried throughout the haircut anyway. And just following the brush with the hair dryer. Blow drying it up. Fanning out all the graduation and the weight that we built. And you can see how it starts turning into like a nice square shape. It counteracts the head rounding away. Oops. Now we'll do a little taper and shape up all in the hairline as well. So this is sitting good now. Just going to taper all this. The difference between the long ones and the ones that are going to get shaped up. Just going to comb them all down. Probably actually use this longer clip. So we'll go in here. Going to use a 2 and just flick into that first section. We're going to go for like a higher taper, so we're not going to worry about the curve on this one or the shape up there. And you can almost just flick the clipper back with the graduation just to blend it in a bit more as well, just because it's all flowing that way. Down there on the beard. This comes straight across. Just going just below here so we can still have the shape up come around, because his hair line's really close to his ear, so we want it to come right round the ear. We don't want there to be like a big gap there. We'll shape up there. come to here. And we're just going to strengthen all this area and take away all these baby hairs. Always ask your clients to do this first because you've got to stay on top of this to some degree, especially on shorter haircuts. And create a good angle in here. And then to get this. Get our foils on here. Get the one guard. And we'll just fade it all in. Just trying to smooth this in. Just taking away any longer areas the clippers couldn't blend it into, just bit by bit. And then we can get the rest of these. Just try and keep it as close to the ear as we can here. Last little bit with a 0.5 guard here. Just picking at any darker spots in amongst the fade. Sweet, you can style that up once this is done. Same on the other side. Let's find these baby hairs again. There we go. Sometimes when you're actually doing this, putting the clip in the hair can kink the hair a little bit, so it can be harder to get the curtains to sit right after, but you need to get it out of the way when you're doing this so you don't cut any of the fringe in with any of this. You can always just use a bit of water to reset the fringe and blow dry it again or style it differently. See, I'm not going into the hairline here. I'm only ever just taking anything that's short and that's popping out over the hairline already. Sometimes these hairs in these corners, they don't really grow very long, so they just jag out through the front. I would never really suggest going like into someone's hairline and taking away hairs that would actually grow in and be part of the style. We can use this too again, same way I used it before. See, I'm not combing the hair down, then coming up underneath it, because that would take too much of the weight away. And take all these too short. We're just skiffing over these ones and still keeping them long enough to sit back, but taking off any bits that are flopping over that kind of blend from the clipper work into the scissor work. You can see little bits just coming off. But it doesn't dig right under and against the grain and take it as short as the guard can. So just the same process, just working back through the guards again. Just using the 2, the 1 guard, and I think I used the 1.5 guard too. But same process, just flicking into where we took the 2 to. You can do the same thing and flick into the longer hair, but just the shorter the guard you're using, the more careful you got to be. Down to the 1. 1.5. 1.5 guard. There we go. See, just around here. Just getting as close to the ear as possible. Dale's ears didn't really move, so you just got to be careful. Right, so not doing anything crazy here. I'm just looking for where the natural kind of sparsity is or where it's been shaved to before. There's kind of a gap in there, so I'm just going to shape it up from here. And then there as well. So tiny wee bit more here. You can just do this bit by bit and check your mirror. Sometimes looks good up close and then you check the mirror and you're off by a mile. Watch your eyes here, bro, in case they like ping up on your eyes. I'm just lifting these longer bits out just to get any extra long ones. I'm not trying to take the length down too much. Same like here, you can just freehand a lot of the ends off of stuff. You can use a guard, depends how much you're wanting to do. I'm just quickly neating this up. You alright with the blade on your cheeks?
Aye.
Yeah? Right, so we'll just shape up and the cheeks, and then we're good to go. So I'm just stretching the skin lightly away and using the blade into the corners. Then we'll find where the stubble starts getting cut. And then I'm going to spin this just a tiny bit more, but just stay. There you go. Stretch the skin away. Looks a bit right. Close enough. Just make sure you get all the baby hairs as well. You can't always see them, but they're there. So I've got the other side. Just a little bit more of the cream. Where's that brush? Let me have a comb. You just got to play about with certain areas of the head until you get them sitting how you want them to sit. And we can use a bit of hairspray as well. Oops. Just hit you in the pus with that? No. I thought it smacked you in the nose.
No.
That should do. Obviously, you can go as styled or as unstyled as you want, but if you really wanted to go for it, you wanted it as slick as possible, that's how you would do it. Just tilt you slightly there, bro. I don't like how this side's sitting. Maybe I could have kept it a little bit longer. I like how this side sits a bit more. But yeah, pretty cool. Sharp at the front, sharp in the hairline, kind of messy curtains, and then slick all the way through and nice and soft at the bottom there. So it's almost tapered without actually having to do like a clipper taper. So there you go. If you want to see anything else, comment it in the comments down below. We'll try and get it filmed, and thank you for watching. Cheers.